Businesses need capital to grow. Most business owners look to local banks to get their funding, but a lot of the time this doesn't work. Banks have guidelines and strategies in place to help them operate more efficiently. But these strategies and guidelines tend to only make the process harder for business owners to secure the funding that they need. A good commercial lending specialist can help business owners find alternative solutions to local bank lending. In Deal Talk, we work through real life funding scenarios, loan solutions, and positive results that have helped American businesses flourish. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Deal Talk. This morning, we're really excited. We've got actually an attorney that works great with our company with us today, Carlton. And Carlton is with Closed Title, Carlton Drumwright with Closed Title. We've been working with Carlton and his team for about a year now. We changed over from a previous group that we worked with. And Carlton, I got to tell you, Micah hasn't been in my office and complained one time since you took over and we began closing our loans through you and having you do our work. So it's been a blessing to me just to not have her in my office. So I want to say thank you. And hey, welcome to Deal Talk this morning.
Well, thanks for having me on Deal Talk, Terry, and I certainly appreciate you saying that about Micah. And I tell you what, Micah, she makes it easy. You've got a great team over there, and she's
well. We're really happy with her and think that she does a great job. So, you do the loan closings for us. You handle whether it's in the state of Tennessee or anywhere across the country. You're kind of our quarterback and doing those loan closings. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what your company does and the other things you do outside of working with us?
I'm the owner of Closed Title Nashville. We have locations here in Middle Tennessee and Brentwood, Nashville, Murfreesboro, Columbia, and Hendersonville. So we are a title company in that regard. We do residential and commercial. When I'm working with Commercial Capital, BIDCO, and Terry, sometimes I'm kind of dual roles there. On the loans he's closing in Tennessee, we're acting as the title company and closing those loans. On the ones that are closing out of state, we typically have a title company out of state that we're working with. So in that capacity, I'm really more working as lender's counsel, helping with the loan documents, helping coordinate with the title company there on the ground in the locality, and just kind of ensuring that everything gets handled properly and the loan gets to the closing table.
Carlton, how did you get into this business? What brought you into doing this?
Well, I went the real roundabout way, to be honest with you. I started practicing law in 1999, started out as a prosecutor in Davidson County, was in the criminal law world for a while. Very proud of the work I did there. I enjoyed it. But after a while, I kind of came to the conclusion, this isn't really the place I want to spend the rest of my career. So I had always had an interest in real estate law. It was one of those things that kind of clicked to me, knew I wanted to get into that. So eventually worked my way into a spot where I could kind of learn the ropes and develop my knowledge there and have been doing that. That's pretty much all I do now for many years. I like to tell people I went from telling people enjoy the big house to enjoy your house at the end of the day.
Well, I appreciate that. And what about, we have always believed that we needed an attorney looking at our documents, making sure that the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. What would you say is the importance of having that done?
Well, I mean, on your transactions, especially, I would say that's of utmost importance. The transactions I've been working with you, they're not necessarily cookie cutter transactions. Sometimes they can get a little bit complicated. Sometimes we have multiple entities involved. Sometimes we have multiple states involved, properties in multiple states on one transaction. So from the lender's perspective, what you're wanting to be sure of is that you are properly secured in your loan, your liens are properly documented, and you've got no title issues with the property, and that you're going to be able to get your money back. So that's what I assist with in those transactions. Preparing the loan docs, preparing the lien docs, making sure everything's proper in that regard. And especially when you're dealing in different states, that gets a little more so there, because you might have one state that's a mortgage state, you might have another state that's a deed of trust state. So it's very important to make sure you're using the proper documents to secure those liens on the property, and make sure you're secured there. But then also working with the title company, reviewing the title commitments, reviewing the title to the property, making sure that there's no liens that are going to be in front of you that are unknown, or no encumbrances on the property. It's going to affect the title. And then also coordinating with the title company in getting the transaction to the closing. One of the things that's been helpful to me in working these transactions is, my knowledge of the title industry and owning a title company myself. So I kind of generally know what title companies are dealing with on these transactions. So I know how to talk to them and know what they need to keep the transaction going.
Well, listen, I appreciate your time this morning and you talking with us a little bit about, what you do. And it's been great for us, to have you as our partner and working with us. What do you see? And everybody's asking this question. Every phone call I get, whether it's a banker, whether it's a client, or whether it's a non-bank lender, they're all asking me the same thing of, Terry, how long do you think this thing's going to go like this with these rates soaring and banks really pulling back on their lending? And I say, hey, I don't have a crystal ball, but I'll put that back on you, Carlton. What are you seeing in the marketplace right now with all the closings that you do? Are you seeing a slowdown? Are you seeing, it's still being as busy as it was? What are you seeing out there right now?
Yeah, we have that conversation every day. And, right now, I would say my barometer is cautiously optimistic. We have definitely seen an uptick in the month of March and continuing over into April. Our volume has climbed from, the early part of the year. I'll tell you, November and December, and I mean, I was here for the Great Recession and, 2007, 2008, worked through that. But November and December, I've never seen that sharp of a decline happen that fast. I mean, it was literally like somebody just turned the spigot off. But yeah, we've really seen it coming back up March, April. For our company, we were pretty close to being back to where we were March 2022. So that's that's the optimistic part of it. The cautiously optimistic part is, from what I've seen, and I'm not an economist, but my personal opinion is I think it's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster year. I think we're gonna have some ups and we're gonna have some downs. So I think as we go throughout the year, I don't think we're going to hit any sharp drop-offs again like we hit in the November, December time period. And I think really right now I'm speaking more towards residential. But I think we probably will see a couple of dips again throughout the year. I don't think they're going to be huge, but I think we'll have a little bit of a roller coaster. But then unless something changes by the time we get to the end of 2023, I think we're going to be working our way back towards what I would consider a really healthy market, traditionally healthy market. The last few years we've been in a very, very high market, which was great, very fun, but you can't last like that forever. There has to be an adjustment at some point. So I think we're adjusting into what's going to be considered a very traditional, healthy market. Now, on the commercial side of it, from what I've been seeing, and you, Terry, frankly, you're probably more knowledgeable about this than me. I think the commercial side probably still has a little more pain to go through this year from what I'm seeing and some of the predictions there. Maybe a little more adjusting on the commercial side.
Okay. Well, listen, Carlton, I'll tell you, it's really been a pleasure having you a part of our team this last year. I know we put a lot on your plate, and you never failed to deliver for us, and I certainly appreciate that. And for all you brokers out there, one of the things I will tell you is that you need a great closing attorney. You need somebody that's covering your backside. You need somebody making sure that the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, and then that someone can then tell you that it's okay. It's good to release funds. So we appreciate Carlton, and we appreciate you and your team. And I thank you for being with us this morning. And folks, that's Deal Talk today with Terry Luker and Carlton Drumwright. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry.